Hello friends, welcome to Absolute and Relative Measures of Skewness. This is a continuation of my earlier video which is about Unit 3 Measures of Dispersion and Skewness. Let's just understand the basic difference between absolute and relative measures of skewness. I believe all of you have already been exposed about the absolute and relative measures of dispersion in my earlier video. Absolute measures means when the unit of that measurement will be the same as the unit of the observations. Suppose absolute measures is like a standard deviation, so that will come if suppose we are talking about the height of the student, so the standard deviation will also come whatever the unit the height is measured, like maybe in centimeter or maybe in meter. Whereas relative measures of skewness will not have any unit similar to that relative measures of dispersion. Basically, we measure the absolute measures of dispersion by the difference between the mean and the mode. As we know, in a symmetric distribution, mean and mode lie in the same point. If there is a skewness, that means mean and mode will not lie on the same point. And the difference between these two is an idea about the absolute measures of skewness. If we divide that difference between the mean and mode by the standard deviation of that particular distribution, we'll get the relative measures of skewness. There is another way to measure the absolute measures of skewness, which is based on quartile, which is Q3 plus Q1 minus 2 into Q2. Q2 is nothing but median. Relative measures of skewness, there are two measures. One is Curl-Pearson coefficient of skewness and one is Bowley's coefficient of skewness. Pearson coefficient of skewness is mean minus mode divided by standard deviation. We use mode when mode is very robust or mode is very rigidly defined or mode is very clearly identified. If we fail to identify the mode very clearly, then we use the second formula, which is mean 3 into mean minus median. Basically, we have just substituted the value of mode in terms of mean and median. You know, mode is equals to 3 into median minus 2 into mean. We have just substituted in the first formula and we get the value as 3 into mean minus median divided by the standard deviation. Relative measures of skewness based on the quartile, and it is Q3 plus Q1 minus 2 into Q2 divided by Q3 minus Q1. We will do all these type of measurements by taking different examples. Let's just first calculate absolute measures of skewness taking one example. Here basically the wages of a few people are given and the number of worker in each type of wages are given. So 100 rupees wage there are 35 people, 200 rupees of wage there are 40 people, similarly 500 rupees of wages 125 people, or even 50 people are there of wages of 900. We need to know how is the data is distributed. If we recall whatever we have learned, when we get a data set, first we try to see where the data is concentrated. Where the data is concentrated is denoted either by mean or median or mode, which are nothing but the central tendency. Then we need to know how the data is scattered or spread from the mean value. So we use different types of dispersions, measures of dispersion, something like standard deviation, mean deviation, range, quartile deviation. And there is another way to see the direction of the scatteredness or the direction of the spread of the data, that is by the skewness. So let's just do this question by the absolute measures of skewness. One will be based on quartile and one will be based on the central tendency. As we know, to calculate the central tendency, the first thing, this is X values are given. It is a ungrouped frequency distribution. X values are given and the frequencies are given. Number of workers are nothing but the frequency. To calculate our first step, we have to calculate the mean and mode. Mean and mode. Now to calculate the mean, we know mean is equals to summation of fi xi divided by summation of fi. Here what we have done, we have used the shortcut method for calculating mean. Shortcut method of calculating mean means we have just randomly assumed one number as our assumed mean. In my previous video, I have discussed how to calculate standard deviation by using assumed mean method. You can refer that video if you want to recall all these concepts. So assumed mean method, I will just repeat once more. We will take any random value of the x as my mean. So x minus 500 divided by 100. That is the number we are dividing just to make it small. So basically we are using the shortcut method, or we are using the step deviation method of calculating mean, step deviation method. Let's just have a look how to do that. So di is equals to x minus 500 divided by 100. Why divided by 100? Because I want to make the number very small. Now 100 minus 500 is minus 400, and I have divided again by 100, so I'll get minus 4. Then similarly minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 500 minus 500 will give you 0. 600 is plus 1, and all this value I have got. Now I'll calculate fi into di. Fi is your frequency. So 35 minus 4 is minus 140. 14 into minus 3 is minus 120. 48 into minus 2 is minus 96. And I have calculated and I have added the value. So this will come as summation of fi di. That is equals to minus 17. Let's just continue the sum. So what will be our mean? Therefore, our mean formula is A plus summation fi di by summation fi. A is what is your assumed mean. In our case, we have taken the assumed mean as 500. Now, if you go back, summation fi di is equals to minus of 17 divided by summation of fi. Summation of fi is coming as 550. And you can see here I have written it, and into entire thing multiplied into A is what is the number you have divided. The number you have divided into 100. So we'll multiply into 100. So in this particular formula, basically here the A was 1 because you divided by that. So summation fi di into, you can check it, it is into the number which you have divided. You can write even I. So 500 minus 17 by 550 into 100, and I calculated, I got the mean value as 496.91. Now let's calculate the value of mode. If you remember, the mode for a discrete or ungrouped type of distribution, how to calculate mode, we will check which frequency is maximum. The frequency maximum here is 125. Corresponding value of x will be your mode. Therefore, in this particular situation, mode is equals to 500. Applying the formula of absolute measures of skewness based on the central tendency, you know, mean minus of mode. So 496.91 minus 500 divided, that is coming as minus 3.09. There is another method of absolute measures of skewness which is based on quartile. So definitely we need to calculate quartile 1, quartile 2 and quartile 3, and based on the quartile we will apply the formula and we will find out. Now let's have a look. Quartile 1, how do we remember? If you remember, how do we calculate quartile 1? Quartile 1 is equals to n plus 1 by 4th item and the size of that particular item. So we need to calculate cumulative frequency. CF is cumulative frequency. And cumulative frequency from the top down will keep on adding. So cumulative frequency of the first one will be 35 plus 35 first one, 35 plus 40, 75, 75 plus 48, 123, 123 plus 100, 223. Similar way followed, and we will get the last one, cumulative frequency 550, which is actually your total value of the frequency. Definitely you keep on adding, so you'll reach to the final number, which is actually your total frequency. Now n plus 1 by 4th. So 550 plus 1 by 4th item. 551 by 4th is 137.75. We will check in the cumulative frequency which value just crossed the value of 137.75. We can see the value is here. Therefore, this is the value, this corresponding X value is your quartile 1. Okay. Similarly, quartile 2 or median is equals to 2 into n plus 1 by 4th. Normally in median we write n plus 1 by 2. Now n, that value will come as 275.50. In our CF column we will go and we will see which value has crossed 275.50, and we can check this value is coming as, here 348. Therefore, that corresponding value is coming as your Q2. So your Q2 is coming as 500. Q3, 3 into n plus 1 by 4, which is 3 into 551 by 4. 3 into 551 by 4 will give you the number as 413.25. And that's, if you go 413.25, which value crossed that value? Therefore, 600 will be your Q3. Therefore, we have got the values of Q1, Q2, and Q3. Let's just go. Therefore, we get absolute measures of skewness Q3 plus Q1, which is 600 plus 400 minus 2 into Q2, 2 into 500, and the value is coming as 0. So there are two types of measures of absolute measures of skewness. One is central tendency, using that, and we get now minus negative 0.3.09, and whereas based on the quartile, you can just see that value is coming as 0. In my subsequent video, I'll discuss about Karl Pearson coefficient of skewness and Bowley's coefficient of skewness. These two are relative measures of skewness. Thank you.